So this is part 3 in my buyer's agent series, where I basically talk about why I think using a buyer's agent is generally a good idea. Now again, doesn't apply to everyone, doesn't apply to every situation, obviously it has a fee involved, but I do think for most people, using a buyer's agent can be pretty beneficial. So one of the reasons I think that is quite beneficial is time to purchase. So we see this anecdotally, but clients who typically engage a buyer's agent will buy properties much faster than clients who don't engage a buyer's agent. And this can be for a number of reasons. It can be access to properties that people can't find. It can be simply the fact that people get too busy and they don't invest the time that's needed to find the right property. And it also can be just the indecisiveness that comes with making such a big decision. I think that when you're buying a property, especially if it's one that you're going to be living in, it's really difficult to take the emotion out of it and figure out what something's actually worth and then make the decision to purchase it. And I think a buyer's agent can remove some of that subjectivity and make it easier to make a correct decision. Now, this doesn't matter in a flat market as much. Obviously the opportunity cost of time, but in a market like we are at the moment, I'm speaking specifically about Victoria, but pretty much everywhere in the country is rising at the moment. I think that if you consider that properties rose 2 to 4% last quarter in a lot of areas, that if it takes you 3 months to buy it, or 3 months longer to buy than it would a buyer's agent, you're effectively going to pay 2 to 4% more than you would by using a buyer's agent, which basically covers their fee by themselves. So again, you don't necessarily need one if you can buy a property quickly, if you've got the time and the energy to put in, by all means do it yourself. But remember, if it takes you 3, 4, 5, 6 months to buy a property and you're in a rising market, that is costing you a lot more money than it would by paying a buyer's agent perhaps 1 to 2% of the property value.